Good afternoon, everybody. So I had a technical problem to join this one. So sorry for the delay. Actually, I had some kind of technical error here. So I welcome our moderator, Dr. Panduka, and two resource persons, Mr. Roshan and Ms. Shamali, and all the participants. Here, I think actually you will get all the information related to the existing international mobility programs of the University of Peradeniya, and I'm sure this is going to be a very fruitful program to the students. So welcome all to this program, and I welcome. I hand over this on to the Dr. Pandugal to carry on all the activities. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Alas. And indeed, we are having a very fruitful international week from Monday, and we are now towards the end of the week. And this session on existing international mobility programs of the University of Peradeniya and how we can get involved in them, or how to get an opportunity to study at a foreign university or to get a staff exchange is the main objective of this session. And we have two very experienced presenters here who are working at the international office and who have worked at the international office. And to carry out, maybe Professor Alas would like to do the formal welcome, or are you done?
I think I'm done.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. And thank you very much for organizing this session and for your commitment and wishing for this event. Now we will go to the session directly. The first session is on international staff mobility programs focused on the staff opportunities for the staff members. And then second session is on presentation on international student mobility program, focusing on student opportunities for students. So first, let's go for our first presentation today by Mr. Roshan Pradeep, who is the former project manager of International Relations Office of University of Peradeniya. I think with his experience, you will this will be a very valuable opportunity for all the participants to get to know the opportunities we are having, and then how you can apply for staff mobility programs. And over to you, Mr. Roshan.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Neil, sir, for giving me this opportunity. Actually, we were to plan this program, this International Week, a couple of years back, but we couldn't do it due to several reasons. But I'm happy that I could be a part of it. So, so let's move on. So I have designed my slides based on the international mobility opportunities for the staff of the University of Peradeniya. However, I have put some slides for the students as well. Since they are also joining in this program with us today. So I would like to give some tips for you as well towards the end of my presentation. So let me start with what's mobility. So what do you call by mobility? It's a simple term, another term to say exchange. So exchange means it provides opportunities for you to attend academic programs offered at another university. So the idea of this is to expand your educational experience to better understand the global issues and perspectives. So this helps you in networking and collaborating with the experienced staff members or the students and so many people, let's say, right, in other universities and in other countries. So it helps ultimately in your capacity building. So the term mobility comes from the European Union term of exchange. So we usually call exchange opportunities. What the term coined in the EU is European Union is mobility. So the ways of cooperation as to how University of Peradeniya engages in international cooperations is mainly through MOUs and agreements, like interinstitutional agreements, then research agreements, and so on. So this is one of our major strengths of cooperation. And then we also apply for scholarships and grants, various grant schemes, international grant schemes. So that is another way of cooperation. And I think you already know University of Peradeniya is highly involved in European Union activities like the Erasmus Plus, which I would explain later, and its capacity building programs. Then we have bilateral or multilateral partnerships, forums, and consortia. We are a member of so many groups, so many forums, global forums, where we get together with so many international partners, not only universities, but also research institutes as well. And then we always organize events, conferences, symposia for all of our global partners to get together. So these are some of our ways of cooperation. Then the mobility programs at UOP, mainly we have three main programs. One is the Erasmus Plus ICM programs. I will talk in great detail about ICM programs later. And then we have the MOUs. If you have time, I will go through these links as well. And the third one is the Fulbright programs. We are in close touch with the Fulbright Sri Lanka Commission. So we always advertise these programs in our website. So let's talk about the Erasmus Plus International Credit Mobility, or ICM for staff members, what this is about. Now, before I continue, this Erasmus Plus is a big platform of the European Union. And not only ICM programs, we have the CBHE, or the Capacity Building for Higher Education programs of the European Union under Erasmus Plus. And we also have the bigger, the Research and Innovation funding scheme, that is the Horizon 2020. Of course, we are not going to talk much about these things for today's program. What is Erasmus Plus ICM? This was launched in 2014 and it came until 2020, and now we are going to continue after 2020 to fund short-term mobilities of students and staff between program and partner countries. So this gives many benefits for individuals as well as the institutions to build up on their competencies for their professional development and enhance their employability, teaching methods, and improve quality of higher education as a whole. So this program, the ICM, Erasmus Plus International Credit Mobility, allows exchange of students and staff between the program countries and the partner countries. So what we mean by the program countries is the countries which are based in Europe, basically, and the partner countries belong to the other countries of the rest of the world. So it helps the institutional cooperation between Europe and the other parts of the world. So this provides opportunities for short-term higher education for students and PhD candidates as well. All levels are covered, all cycles. That means the BAs, MAs, PhDs, academics, and not only the academic staff, the administrative and non-academic staff can also benefit from this international credit mobility for their own betterment, for their development in their capacity. And it's a very generous grant, so we don't have any tuition fees. So it's very generous as a funding scheme. So this is the international dimension of Erasmus Plus. So we have the program countries here, the member states and the associated third countries. All these are based in the EU, and the rest of the world is the partner countries. So always there will be a mobility between the program countries and the partner countries. So who can apply for this Erasmus Plus ICM, and how can we do it? The higher education institutions in the program countries are the applicants in this program. So that means our EU partners or EU countries, the universities situated in the EU countries can apply for this program. So it will contain the countries and the regions or the universities or the countries where they're hoping to include into their ICM project for a particular term, let's say 3 years. So they write an application to the EU and they get selected. So what do we have? What do we have as the University of Peradeniya? What do we have? What's our role in this? So as the academic staff members of our university, we have so many connections, right? So you can utilize this to get an ICM project for the university. So for example, if you have friends, if you have collaborations with European universities, you can get in touch with them. And then you can just give this idea as to whether we can start an international credit mobility program with your university. So you can get in touch with the International Relations Office there. And we, on our side, the International Relations Office of Peradeniya is also, we are very glad to help you out in this. So together we can put out a project proposal to EU. So once we put this proposal, so I'll just explain a little bit about this proposal. It's a very simple thing that we need to do on our hand. Most of the work is done by the European partners on our behalf. So what we need to do is give them a small amount of details, the general details and the specific details. The general details are the details about the university and then our Erasmus Plus registration and things like that, where the International Relations Office of Peradeniya can do that part on your behalf. So you can contact the International Relations Office for in order to get the basic details. However, the specific details depend on your subject area as to how there will be a question on ICM projects as to how this collaboration could help each other. So that is where you need, your input. So you can say, you can share your area of expertise, and you can say that we are trying to improve the capacity, or improve your teaching or researching skills with our partners in Europe. So that is the basic idea. So after you get your application successful, there will be an interinstitutional agreement between the university, that means the partner country, that means us, and then the program country universities. So once this is a very simple agreement. It just says the type of mobilities which are accepted, the number of staff, the student members. It's something like an MOU, but on a very narrow scope, right? Because this has so many phrases on how we are going to the areas of the subject, the disciplines that we are going to look into, things like that. So it's something like an MOU that we are going to sign. So we can sign this on different purposes. It's not only teaching, maybe short-term research, because the staff members can get an opportunity between 5 days. That means a very small trip, a very small tour, to up to 2 months, right? So this can include teaching activities, because we have conducted workshops. We have received so many Erasmus ICM staff members through this platform. So when they come here, we used to organize workshops. Maybe we call them work shadowing. That means where you go and learn their work ethics, things like that, how their labs are functioning, how they conduct their research. And when it comes to students, it will be more on their research and studies. So who can benefit? Yes, the staff can benefit. You can get teaching visits, as I mentioned, and training. So this is the basic idea of ICM. And there are some regulations as to how many hours you need to spend. So it says 8 hours, minimum of 8 hours of teaching per week, right? So this depends on the longer, the two month period. So shortest period of stay will have an equivalent time, right? Number of teaching hours that you need to complete. That is why you call it credit mobility, right? This has some credit value to it. So the organizational support, that means the organization also gets some support in order to cater to the needs of the ICM, the staff member, when we go there. And there'll be individual support. That means this is something like a staff cost that you get, right? For every day of work that you do there. And then there is a generous contribution to the travel costs, depending on the distance travel. So they calculate the distance between Sri Lanka, let's say, our country, and then the university that we are going to. So they calculate this, the air miles, and depending on the distance, they provide us a travel grant. So it's like a reimbursement. So these are some examples of the living costs. As you can see, it's very generous. For the students, the rate is on a monthly basis, and for the staff, it's on a daily basis. So they have divided the EU into several regions. So depending on this region where you are, you get the staff rate. So we will get something like, say, 180 euro per day. And travel costs, depending on the distance, depending on the university, they give a travel grant per participant. So usually, I mean, this amount is enough to cover our expenses. And then the implementation. So I'll just run through this a little bit. There'll be a call for applications. So once all these agreements are done, there'll be a call for applications for a selection process. And there'll be internal application selection, let's say at the faculty level, to select the staff members who are eligible for this mobility. And once this is done, there'll be an agreement between the two institutions. That was what I mentioned earlier, the interinstitutional agreement. So after this is done, there will be two other agreements. One is the mobility agreements for teaching or training, which is approved by the home and host institution. So this is a document where you say the type of activities that you are conducting. What type of teaching or what kind of activity would you do during your stay at the other university? So this will be approved by both the universities. The heads of the departments and the heads of the institutions shall sign this document. And then there'll be another agreement, the grant agreement signed by that staff member and the program country institution. So that's on their side. So since we are on the partner country side, we don't get this agreement. Then the implementation, so you get involved in these activities, and once this is signed, the mobility can take place. So after the mobility, there will be a reporting period and an evaluation. So this is done mainly by the program country. So we will have to provide our support in this regard to share our experiences and to say, so this is like an evaluation of feedback kind of thing where the staff members express their experiences about their mobility. So the main message to the partner country HEIs, that means us, is we need to work with non-traditional partners in Europe as well. For example, the Nordic countries, Ireland, Netherlands, because they also get a significant amount of the grants for this ICM. So unless we don't apply, we don't get it. And neither do they. They also do not get this, because it's always the travel is from the European countries to the non-European countries. So we need to ensure, we need to pitch on these countries as well. So we all have some, what do we say, popular countries, right, in Europe, which we like to travel, but we need to look into other countries as well. So that is what we have done at Peradeniya. I will show you some examples. And we need to be involved in the drafting of the application by the European universities, because there are quality questions in the application form. This is what I was telling you. There are some quality questions as to why this is important and how this can lift the standards or the quality, or the capacity, let's say, of the staff member and the institution. So there are some quality questions, and on the other hand, let's talk about the program country. What do they gain in this mobility, right? So there are some quality questions we need to address, because this is an important thing where the EU, the evaluators look for. And we need to negotiate the international agreement very carefully, because we have these language requirements that we need to meet, the student support that we give once they reach to our university or once our students go there. So we need to negotiate these things very carefully about the insurance, the accommodation, medical support that we can give, and things like that. So these are some very important things that we need to consider when applying and when drafting the application and when looking at international credit mobilities. So then these are some of the programs that we run currently at Peradeniya. So we have, this is quite a new Erasmus ICM opportunity we got. And we have Bremen University in Germany. Then we have two universities, Cluj-Napoca and Transylvania. And we have this Turku University is a very good partner, long-lasting one. And we have from Lithuania, Vytautas Magnus University, and we have Evora from, I'm sorry, this is from Portugal, right? Evora is from Portugal. So, and other than that, we had so many universities from Turkey, like Middle East Technical University, for example. We concluded the Erasmus, the ICM program with them. So once we conclude this program, we can start over a new one, right? So that is how this goes. Based on the success of this, the first mobility, we can apply for another one, right? So these things will be evaluated, and we have continued, especially, for example, Cluj-Napoca, I remember we had this ICM application, we managed to renew it. And then there were some Slovenian universities that we had one. And then from Italy, we had University of Brescia, and it was very successful because we managed to send 2 students to Brescia they were doing their MPhils here, and a few of our staff members also joined. And I think one of them is hoping to continue their high studies at Brescia. So once he finishes his master's. So that's the importance of these ICM programs. You need not stop at the ICM level. I mean, you need not stop at the mobility level. You need to continue beyond. And some of these universities, we got them, especially University of Evora. We started with the ICM programs, and then it was so successful that we went on to some other programs, especially for the Erasmus Plus capacity building programs. We have Evora as one of our partners. So that is how things go. So we start with this is the smallest grant or smallest program under Erasmus Plus that we can easily apply and get selected. So based on this, we can go for other programs. That is why we are stressing on Erasmus Plus programs. We are trying to popularize this among the staff members as well, for the very reason that it's easy to get selected and they are applying on our behalf. And the other thing, we can get so many things done out of this resulting from the ICM. We can go further. So that's about the ICM program. There are so many things regarding Erasmus Plus program. So these are some of the useful links that you can check on. I just, I would mention about the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree Program. You call it EMJMD. This is for the students out there, right? So you can check on this for the master's programs. It's very generous. Just Google the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degrees, and you can go to the first link that appears. So there are so many joint master's programs which operate in many countries across Europe. You can participate. So it's a 2-year program. One master's program it spans for 2 years, and you will be spending close to 1 semester in one country. So you get the chance to travel to many countries, get acquainted yourself with the cultures, and it improves your experience. Before I hand over to Shamali, I have some tips for the students. You need to have these are some things that you need to have before you need to apply for any program. That means, let's say a student exchange or maybe an ICM program, whatever. Because the requirements for the staff members is very less because they are recognized already. So if you have a valid passport and a few good publications, and that itself is enough for your selection. But for the students, of course, you need to have more than that. So you need to prepare yourself a good CV. So these things you need to prepare beforehand, right? Before you even thinking of going abroad, you need to have a good CV and keep it updated all the time. And depending on the program that you go to, you need to have motivation letters or SOPs or letters of intent. So you can have these drafted. And then you can have your language test, especially if you are in your last year of your undergrad studies. Then you can think of this getting these language tests, because they have a 2-year validity. Then GRE SAT scores, and obviously you need to have a valid passport. So sometimes these programs require, not the short-term programs, but the long-term programs require you to have a passport older than 6 months, right? Which this I went through when I was looking for some opportunities in Korea, at South Korea. So sometimes they request you to have an older passport. So you need to start a bit early. And good grades are a must, definitely. So because you get selected based on your grades. And Shamali will explain more about these things later. And then in addition to the above, you need your academic transcripts and the certificates for minimum credit requirements and course GPAs and things like that. Get your recommendation letters, and depending on the course, you need study plans, right? What you're going to do there. It can be 1 page or maybe more than that, what you're going to do during your program there. And then approval or nomination letters from the university if you get selected. And if you have any documents which are needed in your which are in your local language, for example, the birth certificate in some cases, you need to get them translated officially. So, and another thing, this is very important. Some programs, and especially when you go for the visas, they request for this consular notarization, the attestation from the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So this is another thing that you need to look into. Plus, you need proof of financial support. So if it is a scholarship, you can get a letter saying that you are funded from this. Then you need health insurance or health certificates. You can get this from the recognized institutions, like the National Hospital in Kandy. It's one recognized institute. So you need to get a certificate from that, right? Sometimes you need to get tuberculum or the tuberculosis test results, depending on the country that you go. So these things are under this health certificate. And security clearances, the police certificate. It can be, I mean, depending on the program again. And the accommodation arrangements. So depending on the program you are going to, you need to have some prior arrangements for your accommodation once you go there. So you need to have this, because sometimes you need to apply beforehand for a spot in the dormitory, right, at the hostels. Or maybe if you're going for private apartments, you need to have these arrangements. And of course, you have to get the visa, right? This is a separate process that you need to look into. So you need to go through the specific embassy websites and see what the requirements are for the visa and the type of visa that you get, right? So there are different categories of visa. So depending on that, you need to go to the websites and prepare beforehand. And these are some of the scholarship databases, Times Higher Education, then Scholarship DB, then this JASU and MEXT related to Japan. And then I just included some links here, some links for higher education opportunities in some of the top countries that you're always looking for, right? Australia, Japan. So here you can see Study Australia, right? So you can go to this website and check what are the opportunities that are available for you. And some more useful links regarding your passport and police clearance, how to get it, and official translations, GRE, and I have included some links for getting the attestation from the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So you better read these things beforehand, especially when you go for the attestation. You need to get your online appointment first and then go for the attestation. So I will share the slides with you later. You might be able to go through these links. Yeah, so that's about it for my presentation, and I think we can welcome your questions if you have any. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Roshan. It is indeed a very comprehensive presentation covering many aspects. We welcome the questions from all the attendees. If you have any questions, you can put it to Q&A, or you might raise your hand. We have one question there, few questions. I will take the first one. Sir, is PT exam is acceptable? So the question is, Mr. Roshan, whether for the English proficiency, the PT exam is sufficient.
Yeah, it depends on the program. See, some universities accept IELTS, some don't. Some accept TOEFL, right? So it depends on the program that you are going. Especially if it is a short-term program, from my experience, a simple letter from the university stating that you have studied your courses in English is enough, right? So it depends on the program. You need to go through the guide, the application guide for this kind of doubts that you have. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, I think that's very clear. I had the query actually, why we get questions from others. We'll bring that forward.
Sure.
How much time that we need to plan? For example, if a staff member plans to go eat, like if they are planning for their vacation leave, or like sabbatical leave, or like at some other planning, if they are planning like a year ahead, how much time they need to plan? Like,
yeah, usually a few months ahead, right? Especially there is a leave system that you need to follow if you are permanent staff members of the university. So you need to apply for the leave. You need to get the leave approved before you need to go. And maybe depending on your schedules, like say your exams, the workload that you have to do at the university matters here. So I would reckon maybe say at least 5 to 6 months before you have these programs. Of course, the ICM programs are much more flexible in that regard, because they are more short-term periods where you can go for like, maximum of 2 months and come back. But for your longer commitments, you need to prepare well in advance.
Yeah, thanks. Any more questions from the audience? If you have any? Right, one more question, Roshan. Like these are like if you're going for like teaching agreement, and then we have to discuss what we are going to do there. I mean, or what we are going to teach, right? So this, I think, will happen before the agreement, and we can discuss with probably the head of the department, or for the person in contact with us. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. That's a very important question, a very important aspect that we need to look into. When preparing the interinstitutional agreement, because see, we prepare the application first. So that's the first indication as to what kind of subject areas that we need to look into. Because that is one criteria for the evaluators to see how, what kind of expertise the two institutions have and how they could benefit each other. So, so that is the initial stage where we need to, at the application stage. And then when we prepare the interinstitutional agreement, then when it comes next, the teaching agreement, right? So at all these stages, we will be we need to negotiate the type of subject areas that we need to focus on. So that is how, I mean, when we get opportunities to the international affairs, that is how we divide, I mean, the opportunity depending on the subject area, we contact the specific faculties.
Right, thank you. So maybe due to time restriction, we will take the last question. There are various funding packages like travel grants, or like and multiple options. Are they come as a single package, or depend on our application?
Usually for the ICM programs, it's very generous. You get a staff cost to cover your expenses there. So that's basically the kind of the stipend that you get. And then there is a separate travel arrangement. In some grants, however, for example, Fulbright, in some of the Fulbright programs, you need to bear your airfare, and the rest, they support the rest. So it's program oriented.
Depending on the program, yes. Yeah, thank you very much. I think with this, we can move to the next presentation. And if the participants are having any problems, they can post on the Q&A session. I hope Mr. Roshan will stay with us for some time and you
Sure,
can
sure.
answer live there on our Q&A session. And thanks again, Mr. Roshan, for your valuable presentation and also
Thank you.
the
It's a pleasure.
participants for their
Yeah.
active questions. So we will be moved in the next session by on presentation on International Student Mobility Program by Ms. Shamli Tenakon, who is the current project manager of International Relations Office of University of Peradeniya. So as the project manager, we know that she has vast experience on having international collaboration, signing MOUs, agreement, and staff mobility exchange program. So it's a pleasure that we have Ms. Shamali Tenakon today with us to advise on, especially on the student mobility program. So we have witnessed in past that there were many student exchange programs in multiple faculties. So if you are interested joining one or going to another country, how we can grab this opportunity? So let's listen to the next presentation. Over to you, Ms. Shamali.
Thank you very much, sir. Hope you all can see my screen. Yeah, so okay. So first of all, I will give you a brief introduction for the International Relations Office of University of Peradeniya. As Panduka sir very correctly explained, we just finished our international week that we conducted throughout this week. Started from 21st of November, and today is the last day, and this is going to be one of the last program of this international week. And why we plan to conduct such kind of webinar is that we know many of our students are not aware about the opportunities that they have, because we get a lot of student exchange opportunities from foreign countries, and we ask from the faculties to apply, but still we get a very little amount of nominations. So we thought that we need to educate our students regarding these opportunities. For an example, last time, these days, we are having a lot of exchange programs, a lot of exchange opportunities, like Hokkaido University, then many of those Japanese universities, then Thammasat University in Thailand, and then some Erasmus IIA grants, IIA agreements, and this some of these Japanese universities. So I will discuss all these later. So we are having a lot of opportunities right now, but we don't get that much of nominations or that much of applications from the students. So that's why we thought that we should conduct this kind of program, this kind of webinar to educate our students. Let me give you a brief introduction about the International Relations Office. The International Relations Office has started to develop and sustain comprehensive, effective internationalization programs that are academic, research, and administration based to increase global engagement for students and our staff. These are the functions, basic functions of the International Relations Office: to initiate and facilitate memorandum of understandings and agreements for collaborative teaching and research activities with various institutes throughout the world, to promote and coordinate, administrate the exchange of international scholars and students, to contact funding organizations for international mobility of students and staff, to increase international mobility programs for students, for both academic and non-academic staff of the university, and to monitor and maintain and update international relations of the university. So these are the main functions of International Relations Office. Why I'm talking all of this? Because I wanted to give you a basic idea of what is the International Relations Office, what we are doing here, and what you can get from us. Because still we get some students are coming to our office. Even right now we have 2 trainees. final year students. Once I asked them whether you have applied any of those exchange programs, and they said no, because we haven't received any. We didn't even know such things existed. Like, that is a common response from our students. So that is why I wanted to give you a basic idea of the International Relations Office and what you can gain from us. So let's go to the student exchange opportunities. As earlier Mr. Roshan explained you, there are 3 types of student exchange opportunities. One is institutional collaborations under Memorandum of Understandings. This is especially that we have signed MOUs with several universities in the world. Now we have nearly 80 active MOUs that we have signed around the world, starting from Japan, China, then Thailand, India, Australia, many of the European countries, Russian countries, some of the Turkish universities, then some of the Middle East countries, and then with America. So throughout the world, we have several MOUs that we have signed, and most of these MOUs cover these student exchanges as well. So under these MOUs, we can send our students to their universities, and also we can accept their students to our university. But mostly, it's basically like Sri Lanka is a small country, and sometimes the students from foreign countries do not know that much about Sri Lanka or the Sri Lankan universities. But this is a very good opportunity for our students to go from our university to other universities in the world, especially very renowned universities in the world. So this is one category, and the second category is interinstitutional agreements under the Erasmus Plus program. As Mr. Roshan explained, we have signed interinstitutional agreements. Now it is called K171. It has changed a little bit according to last year's Erasmus Plus program, but still everything is same. Like, even the agreement format and the content and everything is same. It's just that little things have changed, but still the purpose remains same, and also other projects. So earlier I mentioned interinstitutional agreements, because interinstitutional agreements are signed specially to student and staff mobility. It is specifically signed for student and staff mobility, but for other projects, let's say even under Erasmus Plus program, there are some capacity building, CBHE, we call CBHE programs. So under these programs also you have different kind of opportunities to visit other countries, to go and study in other countries for short term, sometimes like 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month, likewise. So these kind of opportunities are there. Let's go to Memorandum of Understandings that we have signed, and here I have explained few examples. As I said earlier, this Thammasat University, Thailand, they are accepting 2 students per semester, so altogether 4 students per year. And then Utsunomiya University, Japan, they accept 2 students per semester, so altogether 4 students per semester. Then Saitama University, which is working very closely with us, each semester they accept 2 students. And then Lahore University of Management Sciences, Pakistan, they accept 2 students per semester. National Changxing University, China, they accept 4 students. Fukuoka Women's University, Japan, they accept 3 female students per year. And then Saga University, Japan, they accept 2 students per semester. And then Hokkaido University, they accept 2 students per semester. So altogether, as you can see, there are a lot of opportunities for you to go and study in foreign universities. So these are few examples for this Memorandum of Understandings that we have signed and that we are conducting student exchanges. So let's go to interinstitutional agreements under the Erasmus Plus program. So currently, we have sent students, this joined University of France, Bremen University, then Pennsylvania University, and Turku University. As Mr. Roshan correctly mentioned, Turku University is working very closely with us. Last year also we sent 2 students, but this year we are sending 3 students, and they are asking nominations for next year as well. So each year we are sending number of students for these universities under Erasmus Plus program. As he clearly explained you, if you are going to a foreign university under this interinstitutional agreement, all the financial needs of yours will be handled, or they are, I mean, the partner university from the EU country, they are providing all the grants and all the money that you are required for your exchange programs. Even from your ticket, your stay, sometimes even your living cost and your study period, all the expenses are given by the Erasmus Plus program through the European University. So these are the other examples for other projects. As you can see, as I said, this no-part project, Inautil project, especially this Inautil project is a project under, again, Erasmus Plus program, but this is a CBHE program. So as you can see, under no-part project, currently there are 7 students are studying at University of Eastern Norway. So these students are from PGIS, and the Inautil project, 3 students have participated for overseas training. So these are the other opportunities that you have. Here are some examples for student exchanges who went from our university. As you can see, like almost 5 students have gone to other countries in 2018. In 2019, there are like again like 7 students have gone to Romania, Portugal, and Japan. And 2022, there's only 1 student. That is because of the COVID pandemic. Because after 2019, COVID pandemic came and we couldn't do this mobility programs like earlier because of the travel restrictions. Therefore, in 2020, the number was very less. But still, again, from 2021, 2022, there were a lot of exchanges happened. Like this year, last year, to Saitama University, 3 students already went, and 2 students, they were planning to go. Right now, they have applied for visa. They are planning to go. Turku University, already 3 students are going. Hokkaido University, already there are 2 students in Hokkaido University, and 2 students are planning to go. Utsunomiya University, there are 2 students who are planning to go. So as you can see, still there are a lot of opportunities here, because for next 2023 fall semester application, we have not received any nominations. Unfortunately, now it's the deadline, almost the deadline. So, but we have not received nominations for Saitama University or Hokkaido University for 2023 program. So that is why I said that there are many opportunities, but our students are not taking it. So these are some information about the student exchanges who visited our university under these agreements, these MOUs, and for this under this Erasmus Plus agreements. So as you can see, there are many students who have visited our university, but unfortunately there are few students who have gone from our university. Okay, how do I get the information? Now all of you have this question. So you think that how can I get this information? There are 2 ways to get this information. Let's say now we are getting each year, for each semester, when the nominations are opened, these partner universities inform us that they are accepting nominations and this is the deadline. So they are asking us to send nominations. Let's say for Saitama University, they are asking us to send 2 nominations. Then how you can get this information? There are 2 ways. One way is we post these opportunities in our website. under student exchanges opportunities, we share this information. So if you click the website, if you go there, you can find out the opportunities that are available. So let me show you here. This is our website, and as you can see, and our website under opportunities, you can find out the exchange opportunities that are available to you. Like very recent opportunities are not still published here, but we will publish it soon. So if you go to our website and under opportunities, you can find out what are the exchange opportunities that you have. That is one way. And the other way is, always when we get student exchange opportunities, when we get information from a partner university, we share it with the faculty coordinators. That means for International Relations Office, we have a representative faculty member, one of your senior academic staff member is representing the International Relations Office. So usually when we get an opportunity, we check what are the relevant faculties, because we cannot send it to the all the faculties, unfortunately, because let's say Hokkaido University. Now Hokkaido University is specified with science, agri and arts likewise, and this Lahore University of Management, it is specified for management likewise. So when we get the information, we check what are the relevant faculties, and then we share that information with your faculty coordinators. So the faculty coordinators usually share it with you through their faculty notice board or through emails. They share those information with you. So that way also you can get this information. Okay, there's one question. Now you have seen an opportunity that are posted in our Facebook, but you didn't get it from the faculty coordinator. Then what you can do? You can contact your the faculty coordinator, and you can ask him, like you can tell them that you are interested in this exchange program, which is published in INRO website, but I didn't get information. Sir, I would like to, sir or madam, I would like to apply for this exchange program. Then they will guide you to what you should do. This is one way that you can apply. Now there's another question: how you can find the faculty coordinators? That is also available in our website. Let me show you. These are the management committee members of International Relations Office. So if you go to our website, you can find out who is the representative management committee member from your faculty. So each faculty, you have a management committee member. So you check who is your faculty management committee member, and if you don't get the information, then you can contact him or her and ask, like we have seen these opportunities from the INRO website, how can I apply? Then they will help you. How do I apply? What is the common procedure? Let me explain the common procedure. Once you get information, you have to apply through your faculty, because we don't accept direct applications, because there's a procedure that we need to get your nomination through your faculty. So if there's an opportunity, please contact your faculty coordinator and apply through them, so that we will get your nominations through your faculty coordinator. Once we get your nominations, we can send it to the partner university. The first step is sending the nominations. Once the nomination is sent, they are asking us to send several documents. This usually includes your transcript, then sometimes your studentship certificate, and sometimes, as Roshan mentioned, your English language ability. I would say most of these MOUs and most of these institutional agreements, if you are doing your degree program in English, and if the faculty can give you a recommendation letter that your English is enough to follow this course, they would accept it. In some cases, you may need to have a exam result like IELTS or TOEFL or something like that. But most of the time, if you can prove your language ability through your faculty, that is also would be enough. Then your personal documents and then your passport. Now, the main problem that we have is students' passport. As you can, like you all know, these days it is really hard to get your passport, but we have a deadline. So let's say the partner university have given us only 1 month to send your details, and you've selected for the exchange program and you are applying for the passport. But now we know that it is impossible to get your passport by 1 month. So the deadline has passed. Then sometimes we can communicate with the partner university and we can negotiate with them. But sometimes it's very hard. Sometimes we have to send it, because it is very important to start your application procedure, your visa, your passport. So I think it is better for you to apply for your passport, because passport is valid for 10 years, right? And since you are adult students, I think it would be better to apply for your passport. In any case, if you have this kind of opportunities, then you don't need to worry about. So, because this is the most common issue that we are facing right now. Even for last time, as I said, to Saitama University, 2 students were selected, but unfortunately they couldn't get their passport. Even before that, the 3 students who went to Saitama University, they also had the same problem. Hokkaido University, 2 students went, they also had the same problem. Fortunately, we were able to negotiate with that universities, but it is not the case all the time. So I recommend you to prepare your passport beforehand. And usually those are the common documents that you may need. And also in some cases, you may need to write a letter or a essay mentioning that your interest to study in that university or your area of interest, something like that. And those are the basic requirements for you to apply for these exchange programs. So once you complete your applications, you have to send it to us. So we will send it on behalf of you. Sometimes from some universities, they are asking you to submit your documents directly. Even in that case, International Relations Office can help you to prepare your documents. If you have any doubts, we can communicate on behalf of you with the partner university and we can help you to solve all your problems. Or if you want to get to know more about those universities, sometimes our students have many questions like, let's say sometimes students are asking whether they can do part-time jobs once they are there, or whether they can extend their period. That kind of common issues are there. So if you have any questions, we can communicate with the partner university on behalf of you, and INRO is willing to help you in that regards. So there's one more thing that I wanted to highlight here. That is that sometimes, in some cases, you may have to show living expenses, because even under MOUs or institutional agreements, tuition fees are free, because we have signed MOUs, so all the tuition fees are free. But for some universities, like let's say Hokkaido University, you give JASO scholarship. JASO scholarship is like 80,000 yen per month, which is nearly like 150,000 rupees per month. So it's quite a lot, and it's more than enough for you to live there. In case, like in most of the time, if you are applying for a Japanese university, there is a possibility that you will get a JASO scholarship. But in some cases, you will not get scholarships to cover your living expenses. In that case, if you are still like to apply for that exchange programs, you may have to show your bank details that you have enough money to stay there for your living expenses, but not for tuition fees, because All our programs are way away from tuition fees, but for living expenses, you may have to show you the money in some cases. Again, if you are applying to Japan, you have the opportunity to work part-time, which you can cover your living expenses. So all these opportunities are there, and you are very welcome to apply for these exchange programs and to connect with us and get more details. Keep in touch with us, and we are very much happy to help you in any time for these exchange programs. I hope you got many informations from this presentation. Please ask any question if you have it.
Thank you, Ms. Shamali. It's a valuable presentation and glad to see the opportunities we have and how our students have already enrolled in these programs. And I hope there will be many queries from the students, and there is one at the first. Dear Madam, thanks for sharing this information. I am graduate from 13th batch. I got my degree few years ago. And she's looking to do a master's, and can they apply for this scholarship and get a nomination through faculty for doing higher studies like a postgraduate degree, I guess, not limited to exchange program. A little bit beyond from today's discussion, but I would appreciate if you can add some few words. I think Ayunar is also organizing some programs on postgraduate opportunities. If you can add some, it would be helpful for others.
Exactly, Roshan. Sorry, sir. Actually, under this master's programs, unfortunately, we cannot provide the scholarships for masters of. We have that kind of opportunities, but not under exchange programs. If we have any scholarships, again, I'm telling you, like if you visit our website, you can find out what are the scholarships available for masters and PhDs. Like last time, we to Hokkaido University, there's a fellowship, presidential fellowship scholarship. So we informed to the faculties to send us nominations for this. Unfortunately, we can send only one nomination from the university. So if we get a nomination from the university, we can send it to the partner university. Again, there are some problems in some faculties, like let's say you've already graduated and you are not a student or even a staff member of the university. So in that cases, university is a bit reluctant, especially the faculties are a bit reluctant to nominate you through the faculty because you are no longer a member of the faculty. So in that case, we also cannot do anything, but we recommend you to register for masters or PhD masters programs, let's say, in PG institutes. So you are a PG student, then through that PG institute, you can apply. So that opportunity is there.
Yeah, I think that covers the query, and also if I add to that, they can actually do that too as the postgraduate programs here, as you mentioned, and Shamli also do not hesitate to apply to the opportunities there directly. I mean, the students can apply to the master programs there directly and get nominated get selected from there as well. And on the other hand, like if you are still an undergraduate student, if you get selected for this exchange program, I think that will be a very good qualification to get master's or a postgraduate degree, because you can cite that you have got selected to this scholarship, and also that shows your interest for internalization. Yeah.
Let me add a little bit to this, Shamli, sir. Now, the student can directly apply for the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree Program. As I mentioned earlier during my presentation, this is very generous, and you get to learn so many things. Compared to a regular master's program, EMJMD is much more advanced in the sense they look into the contemporary issues, and the amount of exposure you get from this EMJMD is very much big. It's very vast. So if you are lucky enough to get selected for these programs, I think it will be, you will see how your life would change from it. Because see, our students are not interested in applying for these opportunities, no matter how much we try to advertise it. So you can go through this site, Erasmus Plus, because it covers so many fields, right? So it's up to you to go to these websites and see what is applicable for you. The world is out there. You need to just grab the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Roshan, for adding. And we have more questions from students. Right. Can postgraduate students of PGIS and PGIA can apply for these opportunities as well? That means like can postgraduate student go for the exchange program?
Exactly,
that is the
yes.
question.
There are many opportunities for postgraduate students as well. Actually, from some universities, like Kyoto University and some other Japanese universities, there are opportunities only for postgraduate students, like master students. So these opportunities we directly send to that postgraduate institute, and we ask us to send nominations. If we get, we can send that to partner university, and of course PGIA, PGIS students also can apply for this kind of programs, especially as Mr. Roshan mentioned earlier, Middle East Technical University, they had these exchange programs, and most of the students who have participated are from postgraduate institutes.
Yeah, I actually answered one of these questions which appeared from K. Shika, right? Aruchelvan. So while you are doing your MPhil, you can still go for these programs, because one example I remember, Malik Ramage, right? I think you showed the name. He went to Brescia during his MPhil here. So and he's hoping, I think he will be going for his higher studies as well. Another example I have is to Saga University. Her name is Shanika. She's from Faculty of Agriculture. So she was a very bright student. She applied and she got selected during her undergrads. And then after returning, how advantageous that was for her was she went for a master's there. And now I heard that she is going to continue her PhD at Saga. So see the importance of this, right? So sometimes our students might take the disadvantageous part of it, and then we think of trying to finish the degree here, and then maybe try to find so many opportunities, wasting the next 2 years after the graduation. So this is one opportunity where if you can pitch, right, if you can apply and get selected, and if you can utilize the opportunity, it's tremendous, right? So look at how she has gone, and the chances, the opportunity she has. So it's not only what we need to tell here is that it's not only confined to the undergrads, right? Because especially for the interinstitutional agreements and Erasmus Plus, we focus on mostly on the masters and PhD students who are studying here to get an increased exposure. So that is the take-home message we have from here for the students.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. As also there's something I wanted to add, because from Saitama University and from Hokkaido University, they are even asking for research students. So we are sharing that information with our partner, with our faculties, to send us the nominations for research students. So if you are a field student, then you can obviously apply for these kind of opportunities.
Yeah, thank you for the responses, and we can take maybe one more last question. Right. So I will ask this query. I think you mentioned that there are many opportunities, but the students are not applying. On the other hand, it might be like they are having some examinations, or like, during some overlapping with this, or they are having the semester. And if a student is willing to apply, but they have a semester going on, what is the possibility of exchanging these credits, or like doing those subjects later, or can we arrange some alternatives for this kind of issue?
Now I know Roshan knows a lot about this, because he was the one who prepared this credit transfer policy paper for the university. so he knows. So we have submitted this policy paper to the University Council and the Quality Assurance Unit. So we got to know that it's already got approvals and it is in the last stage. So once we get the council approval, we can follow that policy paper, we can follow that guidelines to solve this credit transfer issue.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Shamali. And so I think we are coming to the end of the time frame we were planning. So with this, I hope to wind up the session. And the panelists, Ms. Shamali and Mr. Roshan, thank you very much. Do you have anything to say, add the final words?
Well, simply, I would say the opportunities are there. It's your responsibility to grab it. That's it.
Yes, thank you very much. So then we are coming to the end of a very fruitful session, and this recording is also available for the other participants. So I am very much grateful for the today's resource person, Ms. Shamali and Mr. Roshan, for your valuable time and giving us a very comprehensive presentation and contributing to the presentation. Also, I would like to thank the director of IONRO, Professor Alice, for his immense guidance and support to make this event as well as the whole International Week a success. And all the organizing committee members who supported this event. And at last but not least, very importantly, all the staff members and students who joined today. So we have many from multiple faculties. So thanks a lot for joining us. And I hope you got a very valuable information. And as said, don't forget to grab these opportunities and use them. So with this, I am winding up the session. And thank you again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you. Bye.